Leonardo da Vinci, a legendary artist whose genius is universal. His work speaks to everyone. He was not only an artist but also a scientist and an inventor. Every decision he made, every line he drew, had a reason behind it. How did he create the most famous painting on earth? In the Mona Lisa, you can perceive something almost like the beating of a pulse beneath her skin. The answer has been as elusive as her smile. Leonardo embraced mystery, and now researchers are peeling away its layers. Thanks to a new kind of scientific investigation, we are truly able to get inside the painting. Can scientists unlock her secrets? She seems alive because she looks different depending on decoding Da Vinci begins right now. In the heart of Paris lies a former royal castle. It is now the world's busiest art museum, the Louvre, filled with glorious galleries of antiquities, mummies, and Michelangelos. But one masterpiece is the biggest draw of all, today's reigning queen, the Mona Lisa by Leonardo da Vinci. The Mona Lisa has become something grand in our imagination. Each time you see her, you get a different feeling about what she has in mind. Every year, millions visit her, drawn either by her beauty or by her fame. They have calculated the average amount of time visitors spend looking at the Mona Lisa. And that's roughly 15 seconds. People are more focused on getting a good picture for their Instagram feed than actually looking at the painting. So, is the Mona Lisa just famous for being famous, more icon than art? Or does she truly deserve her place on the Louvre's throne as the most celebrated painting in the world? It's not just a portrait of a woman who lived 500 years ago. It's a demonstration of how painting can show life. Now, researchers are using new techniques to investigate the most famous painting on earth like never before. The smile is crucial. It teases you as if saying, I know something you don't know. Could the Mona Lisa, with her enigmatic smile, be the key to decoding the man who created her, Leonardo da Vinci? There is no doubt he was a brilliant artist, but he was also a groundbreaking scientist. He anticipated theories later articulated by Galileo and Newton by at least a century. He dreamed of remarkable inventions that seem to predict our modern age: armored tanks, flying machines, and even something like a self driving car. But were his scientific explorations a distraction from his painting, or was science the secret to his artistic genius? Was the Mona Lisa, in fact, Leonardo's greatest invention? If you want to understand Leonardo da Vinci, you just have to look at the Mona Lisa, because everything is there. The culmination of a lifetime spent blending science and art. In the back streets of Florence, Italy, Walter Conti and his daughter Elena prepare their tribute to Leonardo and the Mona Lisa, human statues handing out Leonardo's quotes. It's their way of marking the 500th anniversary of Leonardo's death, just one of many celebrations around the world, from fine art museums in Beijing to multimedia shows in Peru, and a blockbuster exhibition at the Louvre. For the Louvre, it's a very important moment, says curator Vincent de Leeuwen, because the Louvre is like Leonardo da Vinci. We have one third of all his paintings. Leonardo may be the most famous painter of all time, but he completed surprisingly few paintings. He was experimental. He didn't want to paint a lot. He wanted to paint a perfect painting. So, what did it take for Leonardo to create a perfect painting? The answer may lie right beneath de Leeuwen's feet. For the upcoming exhibition, he is working with a team of scientists based downstairs from the Louvre at the Center for Research and Restoration of Museums of France. Thanks to new scientific investigations, they can finally understand how Leonardo worked, how he perfected paintings over 5, 10, even 20 years. They are peering deep inside Leonardo's masterpieces, hoping to reveal secrets of his technique that the human eye cannot see. The eye sees something that seems two-dimensional, but is actually three-dimensional, because there is depth in the painting. For art historian Bruno Morton, the first step is to understand the chemistry of Leonardo's paint, starting with the powdered minerals that produced his colors: green from copper, vermilion from mercury, lead white from lead. But pigments cannot be applied directly. They must be mixed with a liquid, usually oil. These pigments, suspended in oil, are painted on in layers. A typical Renaissance painting has a wood base, a white ground layer, translucent layers of paint, and finally a coat of varnish. The result is depth. The light travels through layers before returning to the viewer's eye. Oil is a translucent medium that creates this deepness. You can see through layers. You don't see a flat surface. You feel what lies beneath. Leonardo worked on the Mona Lisa for about 16 years. Can these investigative techniques reveal what he was doing all that time? The Mona Lisa began in Florence in 1503 as a commission from a wealthy cloth merchant to paint his wife, Lisa Gherardini. Mona was a polite form of address, like Madame, hence Mona Lisa. Mona was a polite form of address, like Madame, hence Mona Lisa. Over time, she became something much more. The portrait started as a painting of a merchant's wife and ended up as a sort of manifesto of Leonardo's ability as a painter, of his philosophy of the world. But is this what the real Lisa looked like? And how different does she appear today from what Leonardo painted 500 years ago? To find out, scientists captured the painting with high-tech cameras that detect invisible parts of the electromagnetic spectrum: ultraviolet, infrared, X-ray, like night vision for art. Each image reveals secrets. In ultraviolet, dark blue blotches show patches not painted by Leonardo, modern restorations over cracks in the wood. The varnish has yellowed, staining the colors and making details harder to see. She looks plumper than she really is because the translucent veil over her shoulder has darkened. Infrared reveals the veil, soft, delicate, draped across a slender arm. X-rays reveal even more. Most painters of the time drew clear outlines, but Leonardo's figures appear like phantoms. No hard outlines, only gradual changes. He kept the painting. He never delivered it to the merchant. To Leonardo, this was no longer a portrait, it had become a universal painting. Delivang will display these scientific scans alongside the originals in the upcoming exhibition. They prove Leonardo painted differently from anyone else. He was free, free to change his mind even while painting. Artists were considered craftsmen, expected to produce quickly. But Leonardo worked for perfection, not patrons. Why was he so different? Because from the beginning, Leonardo was an outsider. Born in 1452 to an unwed mother in Vinci, he wasn't forced into the academic training of notaries like his father. He was self-taught, free to explore anything. At 14, his father sent him to Florence, the epicenter of Renaissance brilliance, to apprentice under Verrocchio, a master sculptor, painter, architect, and musician. Verrocchio taught Leonardo something central. Painting is not about technique. It is about seeing. Leonardo may even have modeled for Verrocchio's statue of David, the elegant, curly-haired youth. But despite being illegitimate, left-handed, Probably gay, vegetarian, and easily distracted, he was embraced by Florence because of his extraordinary talent. One of the great challenges of that era was placing a golden sphere atop the cathedral's dome, a massive engineering problem. Verrocchio's team, including Leonardo, had to figure out how to lift a 1.5-ton ball nearly 370 feet into the air. This shaped Leonardo as both an engineer and an artist. Science and art became one. Leonardo's scientific notebooks far outnumber his paintings. Over 6,000 surviving pages, only a quarter of what he wrote, reveal his inner dialogue. Machines, anatomy, water flow, geometry, flight. At MIT, engineers recently rebuilt one of Leonardo's most ambitious ideas, a bridge proposed to the Sultan of the Ottoman Empire. Using modern tools and 3D printing, they tested the design. And the bridge stood, perfectly balanced, even surviving simulated earthquakes. 5 centuries later, Leonardo is still challenging us. Back at the Louvre, restorers examine a controversial painting long attributed to Leonardo, Bacchus. Using chemistry and high-powered microscopes, they detect hidden leaves, faded pigments, thin glazes, clues of Leonardo's hand. Leonardo's signature technique was building form with dozens of whisper-thin layers of paint, creating the softness known as sfumato. Modern painter Florent Fagit explains, Leonardo didn't just paint a tree, he painted the perfect expression of what a tree is. Layer by layer, light melts into shadow, creating transitions so soft they seem alive. This is the secret of the Mona Lisa. Why she appears to breathe. Leonardo da Vinci united art and science, emotion and mathematics, imagination and reality. His paintings are not just works of art, they are living experiments. And in the quiet mystery of the Mona Lisa's smile, Leonardo's eternal brilliance continues to live. As we step away from the quiet mystery of Leonardo's world, one truth becomes clear. Da Vinci was not simply painting faces. He was painting ideas, possibilities, questions that still challenge us 500 years later. He blended science with imagination, mathematics with emotion, and somehow, in a single portrait, he captured the living pulse of humanity itself. And that is why the Mona Lisa still watches us with a smile that refuses to reveal everything. If this journey helped you see Leonardo in a way you never have before, if it opened your eyes to the genius hidden beneath every brushstroke, then I invite you to stay with me as we continue exploring the minds, mysteries, and masterpieces that shaped our world. Thank you for watching. And if you'd like to be part of this ongoing journey, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Your curiosity keeps this story alive. Until next time, keep looking deeper. The world is full of secrets waiting to be discovered.